Hi everyone, it's Derek from the iReady podcast, and this is my reaction to the one each draw at home with Kilmarnock today. Another draw, another 2 points dropped, and you know, if the league wasn't over before, it certainly is now, because we just can't keep going on like this. It's piss poor, it really is. Kilmarnock, we knew how they were going to play, we knew they were a very organised defence, and tactically we'd done absolutely nothing to combat that at all. We arguably, we had most of the possession. Kilmarnock clearly came for a draw. They tried to hit us in the break. It worked once. They weren't in it in the second half at all, and we only got one goal, and it was really poor. I mean, for Gerrard to be saying that he knows the players he can trust and the players that he can't, he'll be out. I don't see the point in the changes he made today, because there were basically there was 4 changes in total. They were basically like for like changes, and arguably for players that were hit and miss at very best, and that's probably putting it politely. There's a couple of players there that certainly are on the fringes. There's a couple of players that are lone players there, and that they just weren't at it. And to be honest, if I was McCrory, I would be really wondering what I've got to do to get a start, because he was completely dropped for the last game, and he made the bench today, but he never came on, and he's the type of player that we clearly we lack as well. But unless he's been carrying an injury, but we haven't heard anything, I don't think, from that one. So I don't understand the changes he made for the start of the game today. As I said, we were probably the only team that was in it for most of the game. Kilmarnock clearly came for the draw, and it worked for them. And you can't really argue with Kilmarnock's tactics, because we knew exactly how they would play, much like we knew exactly how Aberdeen would play the other game, and the difference is these teams know exactly how we play. First half, we had a lot of possession. We were certainly trying more shots. We were unlucky with a few. We did make the keeper make a couple of really good saves in the first half, and there was a few good moves. Baffling piece of refereeing where in the first half, where Broadfoot seemed to do another handball in the box. This time he seemed to dive in the box and he saved it with his 2 hands. For me, there was not a lot of calls afterwards by the commentary team. Certainly at the time there was questions raised, but it was a clear handball for me, and once again the referee was an absolute donkey. But there was on most moves you could see that Killie were lining up just about every single player behind the ball. There was a couple of moves I seen, there was every player bar one of their players, their attacker, that was in their box or on the 18-yard line, and we were never going to break that down. It was clear to see, and it would take a moment of magic from Morelos in the second half to break that down. The goal for Kilmarnock came on the 28th minute, and it was a simple ball played through the middle. Katic was running back, and he was in line with the attacker, and for some bizarre reason McGregor became charging right out of his box. Now he had been booked a short time ago, arguing with the referee for that handball decision, so he couldn't clearly make any attempt to dive at the feet. But the point is, if he had dived at the feet and he had not got his feet to it, and he had contacted the player, it would have been a red card, so it wouldn't have made a difference. He should have went for it regardless, but he came charging out of his box, and all that was a simple tap past him and into the back of the net. And for McGregor to do that, it must show a complete lack of confidence in his defensive pairing there, because Katic was running back, he was in line with him. The attacker still had a lot to do, and Katic still had his move to make before McGregor would have been called into action. So a completely baffling decision there from McGregor, and I can only assume that he has no confidence in his defence whatsoever, and I don't know what that says for Katic or the team in general. I mean, Goldson, I don't know where the hell he was in that move, to be honest, but there's nothing new there with him. But Killie scored. We played much of the rest of the first half the way we had been playing. Had a lot of the possession. Killie tried on the break a couple of times. They never faded out. However, towards the end of the half, they should have been 2-0 up, where the guy just shanked it wide, and it was much the same effort as they scored their first goal, only it was more to the side, and McGregor stayed on his line at this time. But into the second half, wholesale changes needed, and he did make that change, fortunately, where it was a double substitution with Halliday and Candeias coming off, and Grezda and Barisic coming on. Now, again, Grezda I don't think he had played in a number of games, a number of months, never mind games, and Barisic had been questionable. So again, it was two kind of fringe players that we had on our bench that, were, not setting the world alight. But I don't know if they made any difference at all, because we certainly had, again, all the possession really, but we never really, done anything with it. We never put the keeper under pressure. However, we did get a breakthrough in the 64th minute, and it was really all down to Morelos. Great strength he showed on the edge of the box. He managed to fend off and turn the defender with one touch, and with his second touch he shot the ball into the back of net. Fantastic individual goal there from Morelos, and he's done that quite a few times, and the strength he shows to get past his man, even though he's been clearly fouled, is unbelievable. But so one each, maybe a wee bit of buoyancy from that, but it wasn't to be. The rest of the half really was another carbon copy of the first half, having all the possession, but Kilmarnock mopping up everything that came at them, because they put that many guys behind the ball. I think there was 9 outfield players behind the ball. Referee was a bit baffling on a couple of occasions. Ken, I can't believe he never seen a yellow card for lashing out at one of the Kilmarnock players. He kind of punched his leg, and then as soon as he got up, he kind of pushed him away. There was another effort towards the end of the game, once again, Goldson about 2 yards off the pace, trying to catch up. He cuts across the defender, no attempt to go for the ball whatsoever. The foul was given, and he was given a yellow card, and it really should have been a red card. Grejda had the chance as well towards the end of the game to actually put us ahead, where he had played a ball to Defoe in the box, who managed to shrug off his defender with a touch. I don't know if it was a shot or a cross, but whatever it was, where it was going, went across the goal. All Grejda had to do was stick a leg out, but it seemed to stop in his tracks, and he never caught up with the ball, and it flashed across the open goal. Really disappointing there, and that's what a lack of match sharpness does to you. So disappointing all round. Once again, 2 points dropped. Fair enough, he did change change things around, but too little too late, to be honest. And all we can hope for is for Celtic to draw or lose tomorrow, and to keep us in any sort of contention. But as I said, the league's gone. It's trying to look for this, trying to keep the gap as tight as we can and make it look better than it really is. So hopefully that, obviously then that we've got an international break now, and the next game is not until the Old Firm game on the 31st. So Dave and I will hopefully be back with a podcast either this week or it'll be next week in the international break. So thanks for listening, and goodbye.